Go. Ready? One, two, three. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to The Camera Adds 10 Pounds. I am. Why are you laughing already? It's not even supposed to be funny. Why are you. Are you laughing at the title or
The
just my.
title.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's great.
Did I not tell you that that was the title?
No.
Oh.
I didn't find out till
Wait,
now.
so you haven't listened to all 42 episodes yet? Damn it. Okay, fine. That's fair. Yeah, it's okay. I like that reaction. It's a good title. Well, anyway, welcome to The Camera Adds 10 Pounds. I'm your host, Peter Surs. And before we even get into this episode, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, do Peter a favor. Yes, I refer to myself in the third person. Leave me a review or a rating on Apple Podcasts because it helps me grow the podcast visibility so other people can discover it. Or you can just tell them how informative it is or entertaining, whatever. Do that for me. That's all. It would really mean a lot to me. So anyway, my guest today is Los Angeles resident, but she is from Texas, Houston, Texas.
Yep.
Yes. She is a comedian. She is an actor. Do you say actor or actress?
Actress.
Actress.
Yeah.
Okay. You just don't know anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
And she's just a delightful human being, and you guys will hear about this, but I have known her for a few years, but I haven't seen her also because that's what happens. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Juliana Destefano.
Yay, hi.
Hi. And I've also been informed that this is your first podcast.
Yes, it is.
Which is, I find that hard to believe.
I know, I've never been asked.
I find that hard to believe also. Why is that?
I have no idea.
That's weird. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, well, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. No one else wants Juliana on her podcast. That's
Nope.
weird. That's so weird. I'm surprised also that you don't have your own podcast.
I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to talk about yet.
Talk about whatever you want.
I thought of doing one with my roommate, but I don't know yet.
What's the thing that you love? Like, obviously, like comedy and whatever, but like, what's something else that you love?
Oh God, that's hard.
I mean,
the Jonas Brothers.
I was going to say, if I'm being honest, you should do a Jonas Brothers podcast.
Well, I think I should tell my stories of like how strategic I've been on meeting them in front row without even.
There's another famous person that had a podcast about that. Yes. What's her name? I'm pretty sure it's Christina Hutchinson and somebody else have a podcast where they were like obsessed with Justin Bieber.
Oh my God.
And then they arranged, like, they kind of stalked him, but that was like what the podcast was about. And then they ended up meeting him, and it was like on the podcast. And I'm pretty sure.
That'd be so cool if I did it, and then years down the line they were on the podcast, and I'd be like, okay, so this is how creepy I was.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
But you love the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah, but I like Selena Gomez more. Like, if I could sit down with someone for hours, I'd choose Selena Gomez.
How come? I know we talked about this the other day, but
First off, the Jonas Brothers are married now.
All of them? All three of them?
Yeah.
Wait, even who's Joe married to?
Sophia Turner,
fucking from X-Men.
And
Game of Thrones. Yeah, I know her from X-Men though. I never watched one single episode of Game of Thrones.
I haven't either.
Yeah,
I looked it up to be like, who is this girl? But that's it.
Yeah, I knew who she was. Yeah, she's really pretty though.
She is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd rather sit with Selena Gomez because I don't know. She's from Texas.
Okay.
She's,
which you are also.
Yes.
Everything's bigger in Texas, by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
It is bigger. It is, yeah. And I don't know. She seems humble. She seems nice. Also, she has that attitude of like, I think she's one of the prettiest girls in the entire world.
Wow.
And she doesn't know it. And I think that was what makes people so attractive when they're just like, if you're like, you're so pretty. Oh no, thanks.
Do you think that there's some people that do that, what you just described, but in reality they know that they're hot, but they just say it to make it seem like they're humble?
I was about to say, I was like, I bet there's some people who just do. They're like,
you're like, no, I'm not. It's just,
really?
I just feel so. You're like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
No, I 100% think there's people like that. I'm not like that, I promise.
That's okay. You can be, or you could be. This is the thing. I think that some people think I'm too. I don't want to say the word arrogant, but like too confident, and so they're like, but I'm like, I'd rather have you know that I'm confident than be like pretend like humble.
Right,
I mean, I'm humble. I'm super
exactly.
humble because this business humbles the fuck out of me all the time.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you know, like if someone's like, oh, your skin looks good or whatever. I'm like, oh, really? No, I feel like it's just, yeah. I'm
I
like,
feel
thanks,
like you
dude.
can tell. There are some
Yeah, yeah,
people where it's like they know and it's okay knowing you're attractive.
yeah.
I think it's good to have confidence, but there are some people where it's like, yeah, they try to play like they're humble and they're not.
Right.
But the thing about
Like
people
T Swizzle. I
that
think she's phony, and I love her, but I think she's
yeah,
phony.
that's
Sorry, Tate.
true. I mean, I'm like on and off with her. Like I love her music, but sometimes I'm like, you're annoying, but then I'm like, oh, but I like you.
Of
It's
course, yeah.
but like girl, I don't know. I just people from Texas are born humble. Not all of them. I'm not saying I'm humble because
Uh-huh.
that's unhumble for me to say.
Right. A humble person
How
doesn't
you
have to
always-
say that.
But
Exactly.
like, there's a personality between people who are from Texas and people who they say like Texas is what can I do for you state, and California is like what can you do for me state. And I was like,
I've never heard that.
yeah, I heard it back in
Interesting.
Texas.
But you're from Houston, right?
Yeah, so the
Uh,
Astros.
Yeah, we know. Oh, were you in there where I was talking about that the other day on stage?
Yeah, because I had the Astros hat
Oh,
on.
yeah, that's right.
That was so.
And then wait, hold on. Did you also that same night wear your hat to the Laugh Factory
Yeah.
and trade it with somebody?
So I was at the Laugh Factory the other night, and I had my Astros hat on, and they're like, "This next comic's from Texas," and I like get on stage, and I was like, "Hey, who hates my Astros hat?" And everybody's like, blah blah blah. And then I saw a dude front row, and I was like, "Okay, he's wearing a Dodgers hat," so I made him. I was like, "I need validation. Switch with me." And I, like,
That's
put
great.
It on.
And did he put the Astros hat on?
Yeah.
Oh fuck no!
Oh,
I would have been like,
I put it on him. I
Oh.
took it off, burp, and I put it on. I was like, "Now y'all can love me."
That's great.
And I,
did they love you?
yeah,
Okay, good for you, man.
yeah.
So what was it like growing up in Houston?
Growing up there,
I've never been
you've never been to Houston.
ever.
It was cool. I liked it. I mean, I love being here. I moved here like right out of high school. So
Really?
so one day I'm gonna be here longer than I've ever been in
That's
Houston because I was
crazy,
in
huh?
Houston for 18 years.
Yeah.
But I loved it. It was super hot. Nobody came to my birthday parties because it always rained and it was hurricane season. So
Wait, so when's your birthday?
July 20th. So it's before
Okay.
hurricane season, but it's
But-
still it's
uh-huh.
always raining.
Okay.
I had a birthday party one time where all the lights were out, and
So they didn't
nobody
come
showed
because
up.
it was raining?
Well,
Wait.
because it would be pool parties. I only have pool parties.
Oh.
And then, like,
I feel like, I mean, I've never been, but like, I feel like maybe not a lot of bathing suit people in Houston.
well, when you're like 7,
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Okay.
that was my prime time of
Okay.
bikinis. I would
Got it.
always wear bikinis when I was 7 because I was like 50 pounds now.
Now you're like 90.
I wish. Nope.
Okay. So, but you liked it. Like,
Yeah, I love.
I feel
love
like Houston is more like diverse than like say other parts of Texas.
It
maybe.
is.
Yeah.
It is. And I love going back. I'm going back in March for the rodeo, which is cool.
What rodeo?
The Houston rodeo. It's the biggest rodeo. Cardi B was last year, and I went to Cardi B last year. It was
Wait,
cool.
really?
Yeah, it was so funny.
Have you heard of? I feel like it's called the Nitro Rodeo. Or it's like I've seen previews, and it's like like they do like it's like extreme rodeo,
No.
and maybe it's only in Oklahoma, but I know it's definitely coming to Oklahoma. And these dudes do like flips off of the horses, and they're like getting dragged by the bull, like
Oh,
crazy
that's
shit.
cool.
But cause I've never been to a rodeo at all. Ever.
It's the biggest rodeo in the United States, I think.
Huh.
But it's so cool. You eat. I had fried alligator one time. I can't tell these
I've
stories
had
in
fried
LA.
alligator.
It's good.
Yeah.
It just tastes like salty chicken.
Yeah. Exactly.
But like here, people would think I was crazy for doing that. I'm like, you
It's-
just.
I also thought it was crazy. So I swear to God, I've had it because this girl that I used to date, I guess. Dates. I use the word date very loosely. We were hooking up for a while. It happens. But she had a client who owned this like southern like Cajun restaurant, and my dad's family's from Louisiana. So they're like Creole, and so like I love a lot of Southern food. So I was like, oh yeah. She's like, you guys gotta come. So we came, right? And like because my grandparents are from Louisiana, like I've had gumbo, I don't love like crawfish and stuff, but I've
Yeah.
had all those things and cornbread and stuff, you know. And so I'm like thinking that I can like know it, and I love barbecue too. So
Mhm.
so we go, and the lady comes out. She's like, "Oh, thank you guys for coming." And so I'm looking at the menu. She's like, "What you looking at the menu for?" And I was like, "I'm gonna get an order." She's like, "You ain't gonna order nothing. I'm gonna make you what I want y'all to eat." And she's like, "I'm coming down with some fried alligators right now." And so she left, and I looked at the girl, and I was like, "I don't care if this is fucking if she hooks us up. I'm not fucking eating alligator.
Right. You think
Like
it's
I'm not gonna
cookie.
eat it." And then she brought it out, and like it looked fine, but like it's fried alligator. And then so the lady's just like sitting there looking at us, waiting for us to try it, and I'm like, "Fuck, dude! Like, how am I gonna fake this?" And I had it, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't like seek it, but it was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't had it since high school, but
Mhm.
there's fried Oreos too. Everything's
Had
fried.
those, yeah,
But
yeah.
like people here are like, "Oh my gosh."
I
how
mean,
could you?" I'm like,
this is kind of a fitness podcast, but
I
like,
know, like, fried Oreos.
yeah.
I wouldn't.
Fried Twinkies. Have you had those?
Yeah, I don't like Twinkies. One time, this guy in high school, I like gained like this is so mean and it's so funny. I like gained 5 pounds one time in high school, and he goes, "What up, Twinkie girl?" And he like showed up the last day of high school and like bought me a box of Twinkies.
Wow. Was he trying to hit?
I don't know.
I feel like he was, and that was like the worst way to go about it.
It was the worst. And then like 4 years later, he showed up to my stand-up show in Houston, and he's like, "Oh, you've moved up, Twinkie girl." I'm like, God.
Oh wow, still with the Twinkie girl, huh?
Yeah.
What? You know what I don't like, and this is like maybe because you're closer removed from being out of high school, but like I'm sure you've changed a little bit since
I've
grade.
changed a lot.
Yeah, I mean you live in LA now. It's just
Yeah.
totally different lifestyle and whatever. But like people that like knew you in high school, that and maybe they probably grew up with you too, but like you probably haven't like communicated with them or whatever since high school, but like they think they know you still because they and you're like, you can't really say shit like that to me anymore, dude. Like you don't know me like that anymore.
Yeah.
Or like,
Like you don't know me at all.
I mean, really, you don't. Like you kind of, but you don't. And so I have that like inner struggle sometimes when I want to be like, hey man, fuck you. You can't talk to me like that. Like,
Yeah.
You don't know me like that anymore.
I remember I cried.
Really?
In high school.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
like
Yeah,
at
yeah.
my show. I was like, that's funny. I should use that on stage. But yeah, in high school, I was like, Twinkie girl.
Yeah, that's awful.
I know.
For a dude to tell that to a girl, and like,
But then I didn't notice it was just flirting.
I mean, right?
but,
Well,
like,
that's what I said.
Men still do that today.
Yeah,
like
for
just
sure.
freaking make fun. I mean, I do it too. I mean,
It's different when if a girl was making fun.
Guys like it.
Yeah, if a girl's making fun of you, you're like, oh sweet, like
Guys like
Yeah,
when
but
we're
a guy
mean.
that like
It's just like
just think of something cooler to say.
I know.
Don't fucking make fun of her. Unless you're like you're at that point where you're like you can kind of fuck around with each other. But,
Yeah.
So anyway, cool. And you're going back in March.
Yeah.
Got it. You're not really an Astros fan though. Like I mean, you're from Houston.
Are you
but, like,
kidding me?
yeah, I know. I'm serious.
I am an Astros.
Wait, are you really?
Yeah. So, oh my, I say that.
Well, she's from Houston, so like,
Nobody's
okay.
gonna listen to this now.
No, it's fine.
Except for all my Houston people. What up? Yeah. So Craig,
is that 913?
713.
713.
281.
Damn it, 713.
832.
Got it. Oh yeah, that's right. 832.
Yeah.
That's yours.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you're 832, right?
Yeah.
713. Travis Scott.
Just say my whole number. Here.
Travis Scott.
Yeah. So yeah. So I would go. My cousin was a bat boy, and
Oh.
then on top of that, I just knew people since I was growing up. So I always had dugout seats. And Craig Biggio, I'll never forget. He was my favorite player. He threw me a ball, and it was my friend. It was my friend's 9th birthday.
How old were you?
I was like 8 or 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got the ball, and I was like, oh my gosh, well, happy birthday. And I gave it to her, and her dad's like, nope, you don't do that. You keep it.
Oh.
And then that same game, he threw me another, so I just gave it to her.
Oh wow.
I got 2 balls. Yeah.
Wow.
And then,
He's a Hall of Famer now,
yeah, he went to my church.
Oh really?
And so I would like see him getting communion, and I was like,
He's Catholic.
Mhm.
You're Catholic.
Yeah.
Are you Italian?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
and then he coached, I think, the St. Thomas baseball team.
Yeah, and
and I
his
was,
son plays now for the Blue Jays, I
Yeah.
believe. I'm pretty sure, because the Blue Jays have his son, and then Dante Bichette's son, and Vladimir Guerrero's son. So yeah, it's definitely the Blue Jays.
well, it was funny because I, of course, lived here when we won. I know
Well,
it's a sensitive subject.
when you cheated,
yeah,
you
so
won.
when we cheated,
Right.
but like everybody does, and we just got caught.
Yeah, no one cheats like that though. You guys
Just
took it to
good at
a
it.
whole nother level. No, I agree. I mean, you heard me talking about it on stage the other day. Like, it's upsetting, but like the amount we talked about this a couple weeks ago when Travis was here, and they're like organizing 800 people to go to Anaheim when the Dodgers play the Angels.
That is so funny.
Just so they could boo the Astros, and I'm like, you guys are fucking losers.
Yeah.
Like straight up, get a life. Fucking, how shitty is your life that you are gonna go to another team's stadium and root for you're just going just
and
to
that's such a privileged thing to do.
Yeah,
like
it's
to have enough
stupid.
money to just buy tickets to boo someone.
And to
like,
drive fucking an hour to Anaheim at least.
know.
Losers.
Exactly.
I just like
we're all losers.
It's
man.
cheated. Well, I thought about it because like I got kicked off of a couple of Dodger fan sites for telling people like this is stupid, and then people would argue, "Why is it stupid? Cheating is stupid." I'm like, okay, but you're like, how is this going to change your life? How is this going to make your life better by going and crying about something that happened 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know, I had the audition of my life like 10 years ago, probably like my dream role. And I didn't get it. Imagine if I showed up to like the casting office, like, you guys didn't fucking book me. Yeah, it's so dumb, dude. Like, just move on with your life.
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't affect your life at all. That audition kind of affected my life because it could have changed my life.
Right.
But it's just like these people that go over something that has nothing to do. It's just sad. But
well, I feel bad. I'm just mean because it's like I know what the Astros did, but I'm just such a piece of shit where I like wearing my hat and I'll be like, look at me. And they're like, you freaking cheater. Even like when we won, I'll never remember. I'll always forget.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
People get nervous on here because there's so many listeners.
It's funny. What was I saying?
She said, that's funny.
I'll never forget how I was like prancing around Laurel Canyon and I was going to all the newsstands and I was buying all the newspapers that said LA Times, Houston beats LA Dodgers.
Yeah.
And I was like, can I buy all of them? Because nobody, back in Houston, all of them were sold out. I have a big stack of them in my car.
Still?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what'd you do with them? Just kept them?
A lot of people in Houston were like, please get us some.
Oh, wow.
And so I gave them to a lot of people, yeah.
That's cool. I mean, it's fine. It's just, it's over with, and it's just like, it sucks, but it's like, so does life sometimes.
It was the year we had Harvey. So it was like perfect timing that we won because it was like.
Who?
Who? Harvey. It's so funny. Harvey the hurricane.
Oh, I'm like Matt Harvey wasn't on the Astros.
No. So like.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So like August, like my house flooded, my whole street flooded.
Oh, really?
So it was like that town shut down.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I remember it just being such a sad time.
Yeah.
That was August. Then October, it was we won. So it showed like a picture of like Houston in August where it was like all underwater. And then Houston with like us winning or whatever. And I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that because I worked with a comic he's based out of Houston, but I worked with him in Oklahoma, and he does he's on ESPN radio in Houston. So I remember talking to him before the World Series about how the city was doing and how it would have meant a lot to the city and whatever. And it's like, I get it.
Yeah,
it's therapeutic. I talk about that all the time. Like on I have a Dodger podcast, and but like just about how like for some people sports is like, for a lot of people it's just like an escape. Like it's like if your day's going poorly, you can go home and watch the game and like maybe get your spirits up, or like if you're a kid, you have these heroes to look up to, or whatever.
And that it's funny because baseball's the only sport that I'm like care about at all, and I'm not even like a die-hard baseball fan, but like if they're in the World Series, of course I'm watching. But like the Texans were I was at a bar the other day and a few weeks ago, and the Texans were of course playing and dying, and like they were just losing, and then everybody's like, oh my god, you feel bad? I was like, I didn't even know they were playing. Honestly, like
yeah, I feel like because Texans are like they're transplant, right? Yeah, the Texans were an expansion team, right? Because the Oilers left and became the Titans, and then after that, then they created the Texans.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, it's not like, some people maybe their whole life. I mean, I don't know when the Texans came to be, but it's not like it's not like the Astros have been there for like forever.
Well, where I grew up in a town called Bel Air, and like a lot.
Now this is a story all about how. Okay, cool.
exactly. And it was like, I mean, no, it was more. Well, anyways, a Texan lived 2 streets down from me.
Sounds like Juliana grew up with some money, guys.
Well, it's cheaper to live in Texas.
That's true.
So it's like you can buy a house for nothing.
But like if the NFL guys are living in your neighborhood, then that usually means
Well,
it's
yeah,
a good
because
neighborhood.
they could spend $300,000 and get a mansion, so they
Right,
could
of
save their
course.
money.
Yeah.
But they lived 2 streets away from me, and we'd always trick or treat there.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
had some Astros, yeah. We would trick or treat there because they'd give like the big candy bars.
Of course.
So
They better get the fucking big candy bars.
Yeah.
I used to love that too. When we would go. I lived in like not nice neighborhood, kind of. Well, Paul lived in a nice part of Pomona. I lived in a not nice part of Ontario, which is like 40 minutes from here. But we would go trick or treating to like the nicer areas because like Mexicans give away like that shit fucking candy, dude. Like those sweet, like, you know what I'm talking about, dude? They have like the fruits on them. You know what I'm talking about?
Are they like you suck on them?
Yeah. They're like jawbreaker, but they're
I
not
love
jawbreakers,
those.
but like
They always have them at the nail salon, and
for
I take
sure, yeah.
them, and I'm like,
It's
ooh.
disgusting. Or like what are those other like the things? I hate them, but like those suckers inside the chili fucking powder. What are those called?
Oh, ooh! They always had them in high school, and people were selling them in
Gross.
the courtyard.
What are they called? You remember what I'm talking about? It's like lime and chili, and like it comes in a thing and you take.
Lucases are the name. Yes.
What?
They're called Lucases.
Lucases?
Yeah.
Wow.
I might have made that up. I don't know.
Probably.
But I think
That's
thought of
fair.
a random dude's name. I think
Nah, it's fine, Lucas. I get it.
I'm gonna search this after. And be like,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, never been to Houston. Are you? When did Astroworld close?
Oh my.
Is that like before your time?
Gosh, no.
Okay.
So it closed. I'll never forget. It closed. I think I was around 10 years old.
Oh, so you were like
yeah.
impressionable. At
Yeah.
that
So
point.
I mean, my dad and my sister and I had season passes.
Oh,
so
wow.
we would go every weekend.
For those of you guys listening, Astroworld that don't know what I'm talking about, Astroworld
Six
was
Flags.
Yes, Six Flags.
Yeah.
But in Houston.
Now it's the Rodeo parking lot.
Oh no.
They're like, we're gonna build something, and it's like it's been. Yeah.
But it closed.
It closed
guess.
when I was 10. I don't remember how many years ago that was.
Yeah.
And then I'll never forget. I was like, okay, this is my time. I'm gonna get on Superman, and it was this ride that flips and all this stuff.
Wait, your Superman flips?
Yeah.
Our Superman does not flip. Ours just goes straight up into the air and straight back down. Really high though, and
That
really
was
fast.
Grease Lightning for us.
Oh,
We
really?
had something called Grease Lightning, and it
Okay.
went like that.
Yeah.
But we had Superman, and I got on. I was like, okay, and it was the best ride I've ever been on. And then my dad's like, we got to go to your softball game. Say goodbye to Astroworld. Never came back, and I was like, what?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, I finally got to. But well, and then supposedly Travis Scott's gonna make a new one.
Supposedly, we'll see what happens.
But
They gave him like the key to the city, and they made it like Travis Scott Day.
well, that's what's so
and
funny is like everybody here, I'll be like, oh man, Astroworld. They're like, yeah, Travis Scott, and I was like, there's a reason he calls it.
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
He grew up in Cypress, which is Houston, and went to Astroworld when he was a kid.
Yeah.
It's not just an album or a song, or
Right.
It's a
Well, he talks about it in the documentary. Have you seen?
No.
Oh, he has a documentary on Netflix.
Called Astroworld.
No, it's called. Yeah, it's not called Astroworld, but that's one of like the key points in the documentary was that he talks about how like growing up, because you guys are probably about the same age.
Yeah, in our early 20s.
yeah.
20s, yeah.
And like how that was like, I guess, is that not a nice neighborhood where he grew up?
Cypress?
Yeah. Or is it?
It is so nice.
Oh, okay.
Well,
really?
it's like, it's a suburb.
Okay.
So and it's funny, they like interview his, it was like on like the local news, like last year, they're interviewing his neighbors, and they're just old people.
Oh, that's funny.
They're like, he was a nice child. He was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he just talked about how like it was devastating to like all the people that was like the thing that they did.
Yeah,
and
because there's nothing else to do.
he's been trying to bring it back, and that's why like I guess they have a festival every year
They do.
that he does.
Yeah.
And last year like it like was almost like a riot, but ended up being peaceful because like just thousands of kids like broke the barricades down, and like it was just too many people showed up. But it sounded like they were going to start rebuilding it somehow. I don't know, but whatever.
I really hope.
Yeah.
Ugh. I'd go back.
I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest, I think that after this cheating scandal, they don't deserve
Houston
shit.
deserve it.
Fuck Astroworld being rebuilt.
They'll just call it something else.
Yeah.
Cheating Astroworld.
Call it like fucking Texan World or something, or like Rockets World. I don't know. Name it after literally any other. But I know. But it's called Astro because that's where NASA is.
Yeah,
And so
exactly. So there's the
Astros.
Rockets.
Yeah,
that's
right.
why it's the Rockets.
Uh-huh.
Astro. I'll never forget World Series. Was it like 2006? I don't remember.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
You might be right.
And there was someone in the
Against the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone was in the stands, and it had a sign that says, "Houston, you have a problem." And I was like, "That's so funny." I was like, "Oh my god!" I was at what, like 6 years old? I don't know how old. No,
Right.
I don't know how old I was.
get it.
Anyways, I was like, "Why didn't I think of that joke?"
So you got the reference.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I laughed
you, Paul.
so hard.
Bless you, Paul. So when did you decide that you wanted to do stand-up? When did you decide that you wanted to be an actress? Did you always know that, or like?
So with stand-up, so it's weird. They kind of both collided together. My dad did stand-up outside of grad school. He doesn't
really?
do it anymore. He actually went to. I made him do stand-up in April.
Really?
Yeah, at a mic. He came to a mic.
In Houston?
He killed. No, in LA.
Here?
He killed. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, your dad's the one that told." I was like, he had this one dirty joke, and everybody died laughing, and I didn't get it. And I was like, someone explain it besides my dad, please. I was like, what? I don't get it. But anyway, so he did stand up. He doesn't do it anymore. He does business, but he always like grew up on. I watched Jay Leno every night. I watched SNL, all this stuff. But he always showed me Jim Carrey movies. So I was like, I want to do whatever Jim Carrey does. So then I started acting at like 10.
Okay.
Went to auditions. I filmed my first movie, which is on Amazon, when I was like 16.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I flew back and forth to LA.
What's it called?
Helen Alone.
Oh my God! I've never seen it.
I
but-
know.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You can buy it. It was pretty cool. It was dope. I was cool in high school
Because they shoot a lot of stuff in Texas.
So they do. They film it a lot in Austin or Dallas.
Right.
They've not filmed much in Houston.
Uh-huh.
That was a thing where it was like they filmed stuff. They cast out of LA.
Okay.
And then I auditioned in Houston, and then they offered it to me, and I was like, oh my god! It was like my first I got paid. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
And you were 16,
Yeah.
and you came back to school like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. I was like, I'm in a movie.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty
I feel like it's probably best that I started my entertainment career later because I probably would have been an asshole if I would have started doing stuff in high school.
I'll never forget I did this web series, and it was a cheer web series. And
Cheer as in like
yeah, like cheerleading. It was
Got it.
about like the life and the drama, what goes on in the gym.
Yeah.
It wasn't reality, it was scripted. I filmed it for 2 weeks. I missed school. Also, by the way, my mom volunteered at the school so they would like her and that she could write notes being like, Juliana's sick, but they knew that I was filming something and they were okay with it. So I filmed for 2 weeks in Austin. I came back. The show came out. In the show, I had a drug problem.
hilarious.
And so everybody at school would just like make fun of me. They're like, "Where's your drugs?" I was like, and I was like, "What?" So everybody, and it was like it was not a stupid show. I loved it. But like a lot of people just thought it was cheesy. And so they're like, "Did someone film it with their iPhone?" I was like, "I'm doing actually
Haters.
legit stuff."
Haters.
Yeah. And I was
I
like,
hate-
"Why are you making fun of me?"
I hate haters.
I hate them.
I actually just got into, and I hate when I get in. I hate when I engage because that's really what people want.
Yeah.
But like
I just
sometimes
had to like ignore.
I know, but like when they talk directly to you on something, you're just like, it takes a lot of restraint for me to not. And usually I don't, but sometimes I'm like,
Yep.
I'm gonna fucking let this one off, and you know, it is what it is. But I'm imagining kids are probably a lot worse.
Well,
High school kids.
Selena
especially.
Gomez was in. So Barney filmed in Dallas.
Like the
the-
dinosaur.
Yeah. And I watched her on Barney, and I had no idea because she was like, I don't know.
Wait, she was like on Barney like as a regular.
Yeah, she was a series regular on Barney
Hilarious.
when she was like 7 or 8, and
No
I was
way.
5 or something.
Yeah.
And so that was her first show, and then she
Interesting.
went back to school and got her and Demi Lovato were on it. That's how they met. They met in line.
Demi was on there too?
Yeah, because they were drawing, and they were like, "You want to draw with me?"
Oh.
Yeah, and they got completely bullied to where they were homeschooled, and then they moved to LA and like booked 2 TV shows.
And then
I'm
they
like,
were both like, so yeah, because Selena was on Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yes.
And Demi was on
Camp Rock with the Jonas
Camp Rock.
Brothers.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so I just loved comedy, and I started acting, blah, 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 blah. And then I started stand-up right when I moved here.
Okay.
I just went to a show.
You started when you were 18?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, 18, 19, yeah.
Yeah.
And, but, so in high school, I'll never forget how I did projects was write jokes about them. And so everything I did, we had to turn in this project, and it could be a PowerPoint or a video. And I did a video, and it had all these bits, and it was a sketch. Every kid was like, I learned more from your jokes in your sketch than I've ever learned this whole semester. The teacher failed me, and she was like,
really?
Yeah, she's like, this isn't supposed to be a joke. And I was like,
nobody
else, like,
yeah.
It was funny. It's still out there, but I can't say what it is.
Wait, you can't say what it is? Why not?
It's bad.
Oh, now she has to tell us, right? You have to tell us now. What the hell? My millions of listeners are like, what the fuck did she say? What? This is high school.
Oh, y'all will find it one day. I'm banned from Hollywood.
Oh, is it talking shit about L.A.?
No, it's talking shit about someone else.
Okay.
But it was all good. It was all really good about Obama.
Okay.
I was saying such great things about Obama.
Were you talking shit about George Bush?
No.
Oh, because you can't do that in Texas.
I know.
You
can't.
You cannot.
This is funny. I did a Texas show the other day, and I was like, what do I open up with? And I was just like, about to just do that. Just like make fun of everything they love and just see what would happen. I didn't, though. What was I saying? Stand up. So yeah, I started when I moved here, and now I do it.
Were you like a class clown in high school?
Yeah. So what I was.
But I
was like weird. Like I was a weird kid. Like everybody's like, you probably had a lot of friends in high school. I was like, no, I drove. I would drive home during lunch, or I would sit in the theater room, or I would sit in the chemistry room and literally write chemistry jokes. I loved chemistry. I don't even know anything about chemistry, but it was like, you know, there's like all these chemistry jokes online, and I would look them up, and then I'd be like, well, let me think of one. And I was like, I'm too dumb. I can't think of one.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything. I'll never forget chemistry in high school is whatever, because I had the football coach was my teacher, so he didn't really teach us anything. And because he knew I played baseball. But like in college, I remember I just was clueless the whole like semester or whatever. And I'll never forget, like I thought I failed the class, and I just basically showed up to take the final so that all my friends would see me taking the final and whatever. But like I went through my final and just bubbled.
Yeah.
Didn't even read the questions. Just went through however many questions, 100 questions, just filled in all the bubbles. Then when I got my report card, I got like a D+, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I could have got a C. I could have like passed the class if I maybe studied. Because
I can't believe you've been passed by just guessing.
I know.
That's
what I'm
good.
Saying. And I'm like, either I had the best luck and like I actually scored really high on the final, or like I just wasn't doing as bad in the class as I thought. I don't know. But I just remember like being so surprised that I got a D+, but mad that like I'm like, man, I could have applied myself a little bit and maybe just got a C. But
well, the
whatever.
craziest thing I did was like so what I learned is like if you miss a final, it's not the end of the world. You can make it up. It's not like you fail your junior year. So I booked a commercial, and it was gonna film up until the morning of my final, and I drove to Austin. I filmed the commercial. I posted one thing on Snapchat, which was dumb. I literally got a phone call from my teacher the next morning.
Wow.
Like a actual on her cell phone. She's like, where are you? And I go, I'm sick.
How did she have your phone number?
A kid gave it to her. And I go,
that's so weird.
I go, I'm sick. And she goes, really? Because the whole class is talking about how you filmed a commercial in Austin.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, who ratted me out?
Yeah, what the hell? More haters.
I was like, what?
You should not go to your high school reunion when it comes around.
Oh, I'm just gonna
don't fucking go. Fuck those kids.
Yeah.
I didn't go to mine, but whatever. Either one, for that matter. We've had 2 since I graduated. Jeez. And I'm like, how am I gonna fucking go to those?
We haven't had one since mine.
Yeah.
I graduated 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 2 years ago.
When you met me.
So let's talk about this because I know I used to see you at the gym sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember?
You did, yeah.
Because your boyfriend or ex-boyfriend used to live
He lived right there, so
by the gym.
how I got him to hang out with me, it was if I went to the gym with him.
Wait, what? Say that again?
How I got him to hang out with me is if I went to the gym with him, because he wouldn't hang out with me, so I was like, I'll just come with you.
What do you mean he wouldn't hang out with you?
Well,
you
he was just so busy, and like, we never got to see each other, and he's like, I'm going to the gym at 8 a.m., okay, so you better wake up and leave. Well, he didn't say that. That's mean. But I was like, can I just go with you? And he's like, I guess. And then, like, I just went with him, and I, like, pretended to run on the treadmill. I mean, I ran, but that was, like, all I did.
That's
and
funny.
then I saw you, and I was like, what up?
Yeah.
That was the last time I saw you.
I used to see, because I used to live closer to that one.
Yeah.
Now I live closer to the one in Beverly Hills, so, like, I go to that one. I hate it. I hate it. I hate all the people there. Everybody pisses me off, and I usually make these video logs on my Instagram talking shit about all the people that I hate at the Beverly Hills location. So
Oh my gosh.
it's whatever.
Bet.
It's just people invade my personal space, and I don't understand like how more people aren't aware of other people's personal
I
space.
used to go to the Van Nuys LA Fitness.
Oh,
and
that one's not so bad.
It's huge. It's one of the biggest
The one on
ones, I think.
Sepulveda?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
I used to go that when
Yeah.
I first moved here, and I loved it.
Yeah, yeah. I used to like that one too. It was just like that one. We always felt like it's because it's huge. They got like the racquetball courts and like I don't do they have basketball? They do, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have like they have everything, but like it would either be hit or miss. It would either be like way too crowded. The parking lot would be super crowded,
Mhm.
or it would be like perfect. So
I used to run there because I lived
yeah.
deep in Van Nuys when I first moved
oh
here.
yeah, with my peeps.
Because the city next.
I would say Mexicans.
Oh, I thought you grew up next.
I
Is it?
no, I used to.
No, that's Panorama City. Never mind. I'm thinking.
No, yeah,
I
get
was-
out of there with that. I didn't grow up in fucking Panorama City.
No, I almost got arrested when I lived in Van Nuys because so they're known for prostitution on that street and
On what street?
on Sepulveda.
Like more north?
Yeah, like
Really?
the more north you go,
I
like
get it.
Panorama.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was
Really?
Yeah, and I almost got arrested.
Were you prostituting?
No.
Well, then how'd you almost get arrested?
Oh, I forgot about that part. Okay, so
Minor detail.
So someone later in my career is just gonna take that.
Yeah,
part.
right? For sure.
No, so I was like 19. I was wearing like a little tube top, and I was gonna go do comedy. And I was like deep, 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 and it was like on the street, and I hit a guy, and then, oh, sorry, I was driving, and
Uh-huh.
and then like we got out of our car, and he goes,
You hit a guy in a car, not like a guy. Like
I mean,
like his
kind of.
bo-
He was on his bike. I was.
Oh
in my
wow.
car.
Yeah. Okay.
But he like bolted in front of me, and his brakes didn't work,
Uh-huh.
and I barely. He was fine, and we like laughed about it. But anyways, he's like, "You're good, leave." And I go, "What's wrong? Do you want to trade your information?" He goes, "No, this doesn't look good." And I go, "What do you mean?" And then I hear siren, and like this cop comes up to me, and he goes, "Ma'am, what's your name?" And I was like, "Juliana. Where do you live?" And I was like, "There." And it just looked like a lie. And he said, "Let me see your ID." And he goes, "Texas? Is this fake?" And I was like, "No, it's real."
Who would lie about being from Texas?
Right.
That's so random.
And he asked me all these questions. He's like, "Do you know what this street is known for? Are you affiliated with prostitution?"
Hilarious.
And I go, "No, yeah, no." And I'm like, "I'm not." And they're like, "Who's this man with you?" And he was a guy with me was older, and he was wasn't in a car, and
Right.
because it could look like a whole thing. And
Oh wow.
and yeah,
That's crazy.
but then the guy didn't want to be like rat me out that I hit him because we were
Right.
like, let's just not talk about this.
Right.
So then it just like it felt like none of us were telling the truth of what happened.
That's interesting.
It was funny.
So whatever happened? Did you end up dating that guy?
No.
Because that would be a great end to the story.
Funny.
And then we were together for 3 years.
Yeah.
That was the guy that made me go to the gym all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Full circle. No, that was so funny though.
Okay, so let's see. What do you like to do for? Let's just say like if for exercise.
For exercise.
Because
I
obviously.
love rock climbing,
Oh, okay, really.
but like in the gym, you know.
Oh.
And I'm actually really good at it. So I was trying. I'm unhumble about this. So I was good when I was a kid, and then
Uh-huh.
I didn't try it until high school, and then I tried it a few months ago
Uh-huh.
at a comic's birthday party.
Oh, wow.
And I was
Davina?
what?
Is it Davina? Because I know she loves rock climbing.
No.
Do you know
I don't
Davina?
know.
Davina Joy? You know Davina, Paul? She works at the Comedy Store, or she did. I think she still does. She
but-
also like does podcasts naked for some reason.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Like butt naked, dude.
That's
Yeah, and then the comics usually get naked on the
Does
show
she rock
too,
climb
right?
naked?
I've seen it. Yeah. She has to like blur it out, but yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet. And then I just like tried it and I was like, oh.
Where's there a rock climbing gym near here?
I go to Burbank.
Uh-huh.
By Flappers, like
Oh.
by the AMC.
Oh, really?
But then there's one like close to downtown or close to Hollywood somewhere. I don't know. That's where I went first time.
I don't know at all.
Yeah,
That's
it's
interesting.
tickets expensive. It's $25 per time or $100 a month.
Oh, like to go like to that place. I mean, you could just go climb rocks
I know.
in nature,
It's true.
but you probably need like gear or something.
But I want to be able to fall on a flat surface.
Right. Okay, so you like indoor safe rock
I
climbing.
like being safe.
Got it. Okay, that's fair.
But also working out. I like skating. Love skating.
Like roller skating?
Mm-hmm.
Like do you
Blades.
do like blading?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love blading.
Serious blader.
Yeah. Well,
That's actually really good exercise.
yeah.
Low impact too.
I love it
Yeah.
until I had a new pair of rollerblades, and then my dad accidentally donated them when he was here visiting. Because like my mom was like, give it. I think it was my mom was trying to get rid of them because she's scared of me getting hurt. I'm like, I was like, dude, I do mics behind dumpsters every night. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
rollerblading's not gonna be what kills
Like
me.
behind food for less.
Yeah.
On a Saturday.
In a garage.
Yeah. I've actually never been, but you told me about that too.
Oh,
huh?
I've been. I went.
Yeah? I heard it's fun. I've just never
It's
been.
fun. It's like a little party.
Yeah.
So now I don't have rollerblades, but I need to buy new ones.
Okay.
I love it. I'm good at pogo sticking too. I want to buy a new pogo
What
stick.
the fuck? Are you serious?
I'm like really good.
I
at
don't
pogo
believe you.
stick. I will show you.
I want to see right now.
I didn't bring it with me, but I don't
No,
know.
like, do you have like a video of you doing pogo stick?
I do.
Oh, please post it.
I will. I posted it, and it's
I've-
me pogo sticking, and then it's me rollerblading. It's in my
Oh.
it's my demo reel.
Is that? I was gonna say, is that
How
like
I'm
your
gonna
demo
get
reel?
discovered.
Yeah. Well, you already been discovered. So Juliana, I haven't seen her in. We figured out it's probably been about 3 years or so,
Yeah.
probably more.
Yeah.
But like the thing is like with social media, you see what everybody's doing, so you kind of know what they're up to and whatnot. And she's been filming movies and been on TV show. I didn't realize you did an episode of Grand Hotel.
Yes.
Oh, because I had Felice on here. She plays Carolina on the show.
Yes.
Yeah, she was on here a couple months ago. But I didn't realize that you were. I haven't seen the whole season yet.
Yeah, so that was funny. I was just telling someone the story the other day. Right before I walked into the audition for Grand Hotel, an unmarked van was following me.
Fuck that.
And he was
dude.
chasing me, like, turning, and he's like, and I was like, no, like.
Wait,
come
where
here,
were
come here.
you?
This was somewhere in Hollywood,
Okay.
like by Paramount, but it wasn't Paramount. It was like around that area.
Uh-huh.
And it freaked me out. And I
Yeah.
just like ran to the audition, didn't even know what I was going in for. I mean, I knew, but I was like kind of flustered, and I like went in, did the audition, and then left. And then I got a call, and it was like, "Hey, you booked an episode of Grand Hotel," and I was like, "What?" Did I audition for? I was like, "Oh yeah," and I think I only booked it because I knew how to pronounce Des Moines, Iowa correctly, because everybody went in there.
Shut the fuck up. Actors are so dumb.
Yeah, they were. I remember hearing it. They're like, Des Moines. My line was like, blah, 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 from Des Moines, Iowa. I don't even remember. And the casting was like, it's right, it's Des Moines. I think that's what it is.
Hilarious.
And then when I booked it, I was like, that's probably the only reason I booked
No.
it.
What was the part? Because I haven't, like I said,
So it was this college. So basically, the episode was like someone had a new hotel across the street.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so they were like rivalry
They
or
were,
whatever.
yeah.
I started at one hotel, and then I saw a flyer for this new hotel. I was a college girl on spring break.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, oh, and then I went to the next hotel, and I laid out by their pool, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, God, I needed this break, and blah, blah, blah. So it was part of the rivalry.
Right.
It was cool.
So you're just like a customer that got stolen from one hotel to
Yes,
the other.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't hook up with any of the cast?
No.
Okay.
What? No.
No, like on the show.
Oh, no.
Because the guy on the show, like the guy that plays the brother, like the main, he like hooks up. He's like a ladies guy, so he hooks up with like a lot of girls on the show. And then like there's a lot of like kind of everybody hooking up
Oh,
with each
yep.
other.
I've seen him.
It's like a soap opera.
Yeah.
He's a very good looking man.
He's very
so,
good looking.
yeah.
I thought he was hot when I was in the trailer.
No, he's super hot. He's a very good looking guy.
Remember the makeup trailer? I was like, he didn't even look at me. I was like, okay.
I mean,
never mind.
everybody on the show is hot. Like even like I mean,
Yeah.
not to be an asshole, but like even like the parents and like the older actors, like they made it look. It's very soap opera-y in the fact that almost everybody on the show is like really hot.
Very hot.
That's why I started watching it, to be honest.
Well, that's why it's working.
Because
Yeah,
it was like
everybody's
there was
hot.
brown people, so I'm like, okay, cool.
That's what. Yeah, it
supporting
was a
diversity.
mixture of- yeah.
And then I was like, and there's hot brown people, so that's good too. And then I watched it, and then I had her on the show or on the podcast, and I
Mhm.
was like, it was great.
I loved it. It got canceled though.
Did it officially get canceled?
Yeah.
I know that they were like in limbo.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it! I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Feliz.
Yeah, it sucks.
I know
But whatever.
Yeah, shows. You know what? ABC cancels a lot of shows that I
Yeah.
like, and I don't like that.
Everybody loved that show. Everybody's mom. Oh my god. Everybody back home.
Yeah. Well, it's
loved it.
it's kind of like the thing now where like you want to like especially like Latinos, like there's not a lot of shows that feature a predominantly Latino cast. It's
Right.
always like where there's like the one part that they gave to like the brown person, but like the whole cast was brown for the most part.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see that, and there's not a lot of shows like that. So
And it's so funny because people sometimes like will diss soap operas, but every show we watch now is a soap. Like we
Yeah.
love drama,
Yeah.
even reality TV.
I don't watch any comedies at all.
That's
Zero.
I like.
I watch comedy specials.
Yeah,
But like I don't watch like any
Sitcom?
sitcoms.
I love.
At all.
I'm starting to love sitcoms.
Yeah, like which one? Oh shit! I just burped on air. That's the first time that's ever happened. Can we edit that out? Jesus Christ! Oh.
Oh, what was I saying?
Wait.
Oh, so Young and Hungry was my favorite sitcom.
I've never even heard of that show.
So it was 5 seasons. It was on.
Young and Hungry.
Yeah, so
Sounds
it
like a
was-
rap album.
It was. It does.
Yeah, Young and Hungry.
It was Emily Osment from Hannah Montana. Yeah,
Don't know who that is either.
blonde. Yeah. Oh, that doesn't air done.
Yeah.
But
I
it was
know
really
who
good.
Miley Cyrus is from Hannah Montana.
I know who Miley.
Yeah.
I love Miley. Oh, I love Disney Channel. But yeah, it was a sitcom.
I feel like you're you have a very Disney look.
Yeah, I have a bit about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I get told that a lot, but I never booked Disney. I want to.
Would
It's
you
like-
go out for stuff on Disney?
Yeah.
And like Freeform and like all those like young adult.
Yeah. No. Freeform. I thought I would. I don't go out that much.
Really?
Well, what I've done mostly is Lifetime movies. I play the vulnerable young girl who
Uh-huh.
gets into a situation that she shouldn't.
Uh-huh.
It's funny. I got murdered in one.
I was gonna say,
and-
weren't you like in a scary thriller or something?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was in 2 in October. They all came out within like a week apart. And it was funny because I was like watching it with my mom, and I won't say which one, but I got murdered in one of them.
Spoiler alert.
And I like stared at my mom because I didn't tell her, and I was just like looking at her. And then like literally a dude like because I stole something, he comes behind me and like
Uh-huh.
my whole neck, chops it off or cuts me open. And my mom was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, I should have videoed her reaction. It was
Yeah.
so funny. But yeah,
That's cool.
so I get.
Did you get to meet Lori Loughlin?
Ha!
I feel like she's always on
No.
Lifetime movies.
Yeah, she
Or
does
she
She does
was.
Hallmark. She does
Oh,
a lot
Hallmark.
of
That's
Hallmark.
right. That's right.
No, I haven't met anybody famous in the Lifetime world, but I get a lot of DMs, which is cool.
Really?
I get a lot of DMs from
like from dudes?
like middle America women.
Really?
Yeah,
And what do they say?
like I loved you in Psycho BFF. That was the lead, and they
Oh,
were
yeah.
like, I watch it every time it comes on. Can you send me a picture and like sign it? I was like, oh my god. I'm like, I'm
That's
not
so
cool in LA, but I'm cool in freaking
Yeah.
wherever. Yeah.
Do you use those like for credits? Like, or do you like try to book like comedy work like on the road and stuff? Or is it-
No, but what's been happening lately is like I'll post about a show and people will show up.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, let me know when you're in my town. And it's been cool because Psycho BFF, I was the lead in that, and it comes on every other week.
Oh wow.
And what's cool is it's like starting to be people my age who watch it. 'Cause
Okay.
It's like a lot of older women and families who are watching Lifetime.
Right.
But now it's like,
Paul watches Lifetime all the time.
yeah, right. I love Lifetime.
Really?
I love it.
I don't know if if I've watched anything on Lifetime anytime recently.
Yeah.
All my shit's on CW.
Well, it's so funny because like a lot of people like won't watch it and then they can't stop watching because
Yeah.
it's so like who's the hot girl gonna kill now?
Right.
Yeah. Who's the hot dude gonna kill?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, just as like a comic, I would think that if you wanted to like go on the road, you can just be like, yeah, I was in these movies and blah, and
I
like,
see. Yeah, I'll sometimes say, like, if someone introduces me, but then I'm like, nobody cares about what I've done, which is fine. I haven't done much. I mean, I have like a bunch of indie film. I have a Snoop Dogg movie coming out this year.
what?
Yeah, so I did a film with Snoop Dogg, and I was the lead of that.
A film with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
Shut
it's called
up.
Blood Pageant. Y'all should see it when it comes out.
Blood Pageant.
Yeah.
Is it like a thriller? Sounds like
Mhm.
it. Okay.
It's about beauty queens,
Oh,
and
cool.
it's comedy, but it's more thriller.
And what does Snoop play in this?
So he plays one of the celebrity judges.
Oh, okay.
So we had Snoop Dogg. It was so.
Does he play himself?
Mhm.
So Snoop is playing Snoop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Snoop is playing Snoop,
Got it.
and he's like high, and it's just judging, and it was funny. But it was about pageant queens,
Okay.
and I was the edgy pageant girl,
Okay.
and it was cool.
When does that come out?
Hopefully this summer,
Okay.
or that's from what I've heard, but it'll be good. I'm so excited.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Good
We were
for you,
supposed to have
man.
Post Malone in it.
Oh,
and
really? I got
then-
so mad. I saw him in a preview. He's in a Netflix movie with I almost said Marky Mark. Oh, my God. With Mark Wahlberg.
Uh-huh.
And I saw posters in the trailer, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? The reason why I love his music. I'm a Post Malone fan. I've become one over the last probably like year or so. But like I had just had this kind of email exchange with, so I mean, you maybe don't know how this is, but like a lot of times if I'm not getting sent out a lot, the agents will be like, oh, we need new pictures and whatever. So it's like, I got new pictures, still not sent out, got some more pictures, still not getting sent out. So then they're like, we got to get some pictures. And I'm just like, okay, fine. Got some more pictures, like literally like a month ago. And then she's like, yeah, I just don't love any of these. I'm like, are you fucking
I've
serious,
spent
dude?
$1,000
More.
on all of this.
Yeah, I'm like, what the like? Okay, and so then I saw Post Malone. I'm like, really? You gonna tell me fucking Post has fucking headshots? Get the fuck out of here, dude! With his fucking tattoos on his face that say
He
like,
grew up in Texas too, and
I
he
know.
grew up in like the most he grew up like next to Demi Lovato.
he's like a normal person.
Yeah, they have Posty Fest
Yeah.
out in Dallas. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. But like, so I was just angry because
Oh, I
I'm
get
like,
angry all the time.
don't
at
tell me that
stuff.
like he has a better headshot than me. He's got tattoos on his face.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
That's
but then
pretty
I tweeted it, which I probably shouldn't have, and then one of my buddies, who's like kind of like a mentor to me, he's like text me. He's like, hey man, like you shouldn't tweet that. You sound like bitter and whatever. I'm like, I fucking am.
You're like, I am.
He's like, I know, but you can't sound like it. I'm like, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
It's good to have people like that. Like I'm like, all right, thanks,
no, I
buddy.
feel you.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's cool, man. I'm proud of you.
Thank
You know, I was telling you this, and I forget who else. I've had a couple people on that like I just actually like as people, and it's like
Yeah.
when I see them doing stuff, like I get happy. I'm like, yes, I feel like this is a town where it's like people get like bitter,
Mhm.
jealous, whatever. But like a lot of times, I'm like, good for you, man. Like I'm happy for that person.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
It's been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you like more, stand up or acting?
I get asked that all the
You really?
time, yeah.
Not on a podcast because this is your
No,
first
it's my
one.
First podcast.
Gotcha.
It's a hard question.
It's they're totally different.
I couldn't live without one of them,
Uh huh.
but
You couldn't?
yeah, Yeah, I could. Like, I have to live with both.
Okay, that's fair.
But I pay my rent with acting.
Uh huh. Right.
But I do stand up every night.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like they both. I would not survive this town. I don't know if I'd still be in LA. I
Yeah.
might be back home if I was just an actor, because it's like if that's all I have going for me, and I'm just waiting by the phone every day.
For acting, you mean?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's always like I'll get hyped up so much where it's like, oh, they want you and like you're their favorite, and then I don't hear from them, and I see that they already filmed it and it's all on Netflix. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the thing they loved me for, and I never got a call back.
Right.
But like, stand up keeps me sane, and keep because it's like I'm
It's
continuing
it's
to
there.
always
It's
do it.
therapeutic to get up almost every night and just,
Exactly.
even if it's just for 5 minutes, and you
I
just,
could be in the worst mood and I'll do it. And I'll feel
even if
better.
you're not like telling funny jokes, which I mean, it's just all depends, but like just like, fuck, this happened, and you're just like just getting it out there, and you're just like, yeah, it feels good.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like it.
So
Okay, I'm just curious because I don't know. I mean, for me, it's like my stand-up career is way more successful than my acting career, but it's just like because it's something I have control over. You know, I don't have any control, and I still
that's
don't,
the thing. You don't have control over
and
acting.
I still don't control my stand-up 100%. Like I still have to like I'm still like at the mercy of like bookers and whatever, but like I can still apply myself. I can get better. I can make it so that like people have to book me on stuff.
Right.
Whereas acting, it's just like I mean,
It's a whole waiting game.
it might be in, it might not. Like you have an agent that submits you, or you don't, or you have an agent that can make a phone call, or you don't, or you have it's just
Well, that's what it's like opposite for me, where it's like I still have no control over acting, but because I've been doing it since I was a teenager, I'm more successful in that. Where it's like I have all these movies coming out or whatever, but I still do stand up every night. So where if I ever blow up as an actress, I'm hoping
you say when.
When I'm
Yeah.
trying to be humble, but
No, we don't have to be humble on this podcast.
you're right. I don't.
Fuck humble.
Yeah, but it's like when I make it, I will still have this tool. It's not like because I don't want to be the actor who is a famous actor and gets a show like a spot at a comedy club because
Right.
I'm a famous actor and I can bring people. I'm like
Right.
I want to be good at both to where whichever blows up first,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah. Same.
take the other one with me.
Same.
So.
I mean, that's kind of where it's just like I'm doing my stand up and I do everything I can for stand up. I apply myself more with stand up because I own it, but like I would like to book something so that I can include that in my email, be like, hey, I'm on this show or I'm in this movie or whatever. Because
Right.
like if I email someone right now and tell them that my movie Killer Camera Monsters just came out on Amazon, they're going to be like, no one fucking watched that. And I'm like, I know. My girlfriend couldn't even watch the whole thing.
Yep.
But it's whatever.
Yep. That's where we're at.
You ever see yourself in on screen just like, ugh?
Oh.
It happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I'll see myself. I'm like, I'm an ugly crier.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't everyone an ugly crier?
Well, that's the thing is it's like you're not supposed to be pretty. You're not supposed to care. Yeah. And it's like that's what you run into a lot is like people caring too much of like what they look like. I'm like, what?
You can't pretty smile when you're what's that song? Cry Pretty by Carrie Underwood. You can't cry pretty. That's the song. You don't know Carrie Underwood. She's a country artist.
I know her.
Very popular.
I know it. From a key into his garden and
Yeah, that's like her famous song. Yeah. Before he cheats.
Yeah. Like the Astros.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, Juliana, tell everybody out in podcast land and if they're watching, where they can find you.
Okay, my Instagram is Juliana Destefano 1. So it's my first and last name.
Well, who got the original Juliana Destefano?
I have no idea, but there's another one out there.
Bitch.
Yeah.
You ever reach out to her and be like, hey, can I have just the name?
I haven't even looked her up. It just said not available.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Juliana Destefano 1.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
I don't have a Twitter. I need to make one. I know.
I mean.
I got hacked. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. If you were a series regular on it, when you're a series regular on a show, because I'm just going to ask you first and then would you live tweet a show that you're on? It's like a thing.
Oh, like live tweet? Like, what do you mean?
Like, I'm on this show, and it's on at 8 o'clock tonight.
And like live tweet? Heck
and I'm going to be tweeting about it.
Heck yeah, I do.
Okay, so what about the people on the West Coast that haven't seen it yet, and now you fucking ruined the plot?
Oh, good point.
I hate that shit.
That's so funny.
I follow because I watch so many CW shows, and a lot of especially like the girls on there will be like, okay, live tweeting, and then I scroll on Twitter, and I'm like, hey, you asshole, I haven't fucking watched the show yet.
Well, I stayed off social media.
You have to.
For like when Grand Hotel came out.
Oh.
Because it already came out in Texas, and I was scared I got cut out. So I was watching it, and I turned my phone off and everything. and I sat, crossed my arms, and I watched it. And then I was like fast forwarding after commercials, and I saw my mouth move, and I was like, my scene didn't get cut. I was like, because it happens all the time.
Yeah, for sure. It happened to me.
And because I was in different scenes, and everything else but that got cut out. And so I turned it on. I was like, oh my god! And I turned my phone back on, and everybody, posted in their stories. I was like, okay, because I didn't want to know. Everybody texting, you didn't tell me you were an extra, and I was like, I wasn't.
That's funny.
I was in it. I talked.
Good for you, man. I'm glad. So follow Juliana. Do you have anything exciting coming up that people might want to look out for you for?
An episode of a Netflix show, but I can't say it yet.
Oh,
I probably told you.
You told me, but I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. You know what, Paul? How many times does that happen when someone comes on the show and it has something coming out, but they can't tell us, and you're like, but they can tell you off air, and you're like, come on, man. Like, but I get it. No, I get it. It's a very popular Netflix show.
Yes.
That you're going to be on.
Yes, in one episode. Hopefully I don't get cut out. And then, so.
Doing stand-up all around town.
And then I have Blood Pageant, My True Fairy Tale coming out. This movie called Acid Test, which is about drugs.
Love it.
And a few other things that I was like small roles in. But those were the three where I was like bigger roles. But
I like it. Good for you, man. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for listening today. Juliana did great on her first podcast.
Oh,
I think.
Thank you.
If you're listening to this today, what fucking day is it today? Oh, yes. My new show that we're doing here in LA starts this Thursday, February 6th at the Dojo of Comedy. So if you follow me on social media, you probably see I posted about it and whatnot. Come to that. And then also I'm going to be at Comedy Oakland Friday, Valentine's Day, February 14th. And then I'll be at the Laugh Cellar in Santa Rosa Saturday, February 15th. So if you're in any of those places, come see me there. And then for all the other dates, go to my website, www.petersirs.com. Thanks for listening, guys, and have a good day. Bye.